Hello everyone. I know it's been a good minute since I've done a video, but with back to school going on and a bunch of other crazy stuff, what can you do? But you know what has happened since my absence? A lot of Star Wars news. And today, I want to talk about it. So we had the information reveal a little bit more about Episode 9, as well as a confirmed Kenobi series and another trailer for The Mandalorian. So I want to talk about the Kenobi series first, since that's probably going to be the simplest. We don't know nothing about it. We don't know what the setting's going to be. We don't know what exactly is going to happen. All we know is that Obi-Wan is coming back. It's going to be a miniseries. It's going to be on the Disney Plus streaming service. Now, for those who have been keeping up with the comics, they did do like the journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi, as Luke has been reading through the journals of Obi-Wan, and it's shown some stories. And there was a time where Obi-Wan cut off his lightsaber and stopped being a Jedi, and then Luke did something where he stood up against a bunch of thugs, and that encouraged Obi-Wan to be a Jedi again. Very, very interesting stuff, right? But the thing is, I'm not too sure what they can do with this series. And what I mean by that is, what all can exactly happen to Obi-Wan while on Tatooine? That's what I'm talking about. Most of his days was, well, for the most part, he was just watching Luke. He was training himself and learning how to become a Force spirit, and I guess maybe a storyline about that could be interesting. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't think they can do too much with it. Now, in Legends, there was a very small book series, which I forget the name of it, but Obi-Wan was watching Luke, but unfortunately, there was like a disturbance in the Force where Obi-Wan had to leave Tatooine for a while, and it turns out he found, some Jedi survivors, and he helped them escape until he had to return to Tatooine to watch over Luke. Something like that could be interesting, because in Episode 3, Obi-Wan did tell Yoda that he didn't want to be the last of the Jedi. Well, if Obi-Wan sees a vision through the Force where there are some surviving Jedi and they're seeking help and refuge, that could be motivation for Obi-Wan to sit there and go, I really need to watch after Luke. He's the most important thing right now, but I gotta help these Jedi as well. That in itself could be an interesting storyline. Now, will it happen? I don't know. Honestly, I'm excited to see Obi-Wan return, but at the same time, I just can't trust the current leadership at Disney and Lucasfilm to actually do the character justice. But, here's hoping. Now, The Mandalorian. It looks kind of like a space western, in my view. Now, let me talk about this for a second. So, we know The Mandalorian is taking place 5, 6 years after Return of the Jedi, and it's set in the Outer Rim. The Mandalorian's a bounty hunter, and, it's like during the transition where the Empire retreated to the unknown regions and is transitioning to the First Order, and, the New Republic really isn't bothering with the Outer Rim. And this is some of the canon that we have, especially with the Aftermath novels and a few other things like that. So the Outer Rim is basically lawless. There's no real law. And with the death of Jabba, as well as the Emperor and Vader, well, that's going to leave a power vacuum that needs to be filled, or by people seeking to fill it. So, this is just my theory. I mean, we're obviously going to get more information as it progresses on, but what I think what it might be is the first thing that we saw where, there's all the stormtrooper heads on the pikes. I'm going to go ahead and say they're heads, because reasons. But the other interesting thing that I saw in the trailer is the stormtrooper armor wasn't white. It was bleached. It's been baking in the sun for a long time. It wasn't that classic clear white that we see in the movies. And so what I think might be going, some of the storyline for The Mandalorian might be going, which this could be very interesting, is the Mandalorian, he's hunting down just normal bounties, as he normally does, but someone somewhere who's seeking to gain power in the Outer Rim, they need to get rid of the regiments of the Empire. Because there's a lot of people that got stranded by the Empire when they after the Battle of Jakku, so, there were still people seeking to establish Imperial dominance in the Outer Rim. So it could very highly well be that the Mandalorians being hired to hunt down the survivors of the Empire, and which that in itself actually sounds really good, and it will give us more of a visual of what exactly happened in the new canon, because we haven't really gotten much of anything, and it would be interesting to see like the Outer Rim basically fighting against itself as well as what's left of the Empire. And I'm sure later down the road the Mandalorian's gonna fall into something that was way too big for him, and he's like, well, crap, now I'm stuck in it, now I gotta go. I mean, it has potential. Now, I'm not gonna see it, because honestly, I don't want to pay for Disney Plus, but, I will definitely keep my ear to the ground with that one. But I said, we'll just have to wait and see. It has a lot of good names to it, and I heard George Lucas has also been brought on to help direct the area. And it would be nice to see a little bit more, but I'm kind of getting sick and tired of, like, just mercenaries and imperial, like, non-force users, basically. Look, call me old-fashioned, but, some of the magic of Star Wars was the Force, the Jedi, and the Sith. And, even though The Mandalorian looks great, and there's been some video games out there about the scum and villainy of the Star Wars universe, like Bounty Hunter. But with everything Disney-related, we haven't really gotten many Force users. There was Rebels, sure, but everything outside of what was before the George Lucas creation, I guess, or after, and we ain't got much. But we'll see. We'll see. As I said, it looks like it has potential, and I get a very strong, like, bounty hunter going up against the law type deal. You get what I'm saying? So this is the big one. Rise of Skywalker. Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers, Thor Skywalker, and Star Wars Theory, they've all come out and they've all talked about it. And, I'll be sure to link their videos in the description, because, they did good. They did give good representation. I do agree with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. The poster that they showed, it looks very fan-made, and the Emperor kind of looks like the Emperor from the animated Rebels series. Now, why is the Emperor there? Well, marketing. But at the same time, there's the theory that, he's a clone, like in the EU, during the Dark Horse, and he's been alive this whole time, and he's been body jumping, like body Ubers, as Star Wars Theory said. And, like, then they even came out and said that, Snoke was actually Palpatine the whole time. Palpatine wasn't controlling Snoke, and honestly, I don't really buy that theory at all whatsoever. But when they killed off Snoke, they had to bring a new big baddie back, and, well, what better baddie than Palpatine? And honestly, that's the truth. We all know it. We all know it. And then you see the poster where Rey and Kylo is fighting. And here's something I want to tell y'all. They're still calling and attacking anyone who doesn't like these movies unconditionally racist, sexist, man babies, and such. Because this is what I did. I made a post on the Star Wars Facebook page. I commented, I'm sorry. They posted the new trailer or the poster, and they're like, behold, the epic battle between Rey and Kylo. And I'm just like, how can it be epic? We know what's going to happen, because we've seen Rey fight him twice, and she's defeated him twice. She's came out unscathed, and people immediately started attacking me. They started saying, well, Obi-Wan and Anakin, that was the most epic fight scene, and we knew exactly what was going to happen, when the reality is no, we didn't. We knew Obi-Wan would walk victorious, but we still didn't know how Anakin would become Darth Vader. We didn't know that. That was the truth. We didn't know that. And, it's like, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, that was an epic fight scene too, and people were just like, we knew Obi-Wan would walk away from that, and it's just like, yes, we did, but Darth Maul still could have came back, which he did in the Clone Wars series, and Rebels. And they also referred to the whole, well, it's the hero's journey. It's not uncommon for the hero to win in the hero's journey, but as I tried to tell these people, Rey's journey has been the plot. You know, it's very sad that a lot of these characters in the sequel trilogy have gotten zero to no character development or progression. It's just been, we need the plot to advance, so they got to do this now, or they got to do that now, or okay, she can do this now, or she can do that now. As I said, it's the whole tell, don't show type of situation. And I can go on and on about it, but I'm not going to, but I'm just want to show you, you know, there's still people out there attacking us. And there are still people out there defending the sequel trilogy unconditionally. But there's also the talk about Rey with a double-bladed lightsaber, and she's in Sith gear with the yellow eyes and everything else. And one, that got me kind of curious, is like, okay, hold on. If they're going to make Rey to the dark side, which I highly doubt, but if they're going to make Rey to the dark side, and she's going to actually have the yellow eyes and everything, why didn't Ben? You know, Ben, they've been trying to sell him as he's the next big baddie, but he has no dark side corruption in his eyes at all. So I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, why is it Rey gets the dark side treatment, but Ben doesn't? I don't know. But I do agree with Thor Skywalker as well as Star Wars Theory. I believe this is just a vision. I think it's not going to be... Rey's not going to fall to the dark side, alright? She might have a moment where she falls, where if Palpatine is doing the body jumping, maybe Palpatine invests, or it kind of takes over her, which I don't know why a man would want to take over a woman, but hey, you know. But, she's not going to fall. Disney and Lucasfilm is not going to let their poster girl for all thing good and glamorous and the powerful Whammon fall to the dark side and become the villain. If Rey does fall to the dark side, honestly, I'm going to be really shocked, because she rejected Kylo's offer twice. Why would she all of a sudden turn? You know, why would she turn now? What changed now? Especially in the Vanity Fair article when, you know, they were talking about Rey, and JJ said, you know, oh, we're going to dive more into her backstory, and she's much more confident and powerful in her abilities now. And it's just like, the girl can mind trick and defeat anyone without, like, using any real talents. This girl uses the Force so passively and so successfully. It's just like, what else can she do? Is she going to raise the Death Star over Jakku now? Because remember, that was a quote-unquote spoiler, and if Rey's able to lift a freaking planet-sized or moon-sized weapon, I'm done at that point. Anyway, off topic, very sorry, but Rey's not going to fall. Kylo is either going to be redeemed, or he's going to have to die, because he's related to the Skywalker lineage. Palpatine, I don't know. I have no idea what Palpatine can have anything in the story, mainly because he's been left out of it. And honestly, to put Palpatine in all of a sudden really just feels like they're just throwing everything. As I've said before, I feel like Episode 9 is just going to be a cluster of so many different things that we're not going to have the time to sit there and actually enjoy it. And plus, if Rey turned into the dark side was really like a big, like, oh, this is going to happen, why would they reveal it? You know, why would they reveal it in this tease? I do agree with Thor Skywalker right there. I think this is misdirection. It's just false marketing. They're trying to get people excited. Because remember, Last Jedi, it shows Rey using Kylo's lightsaber, but then it turned out she wasn't really Sithy. She was just, I don't even know. And her using a double-bladed lightsaber, I mean, it could be Maul's lightsaber, it could be an Inquisitor's lightsaber that does the whole spinning blades and everything else. Honestly, I don't know. The Mandalorian looks good. I'm not sure I trust the current leadership with Lucasfilm, with Obi-Wan, and Star Wars 9. I'm just not excited for it. And seeing all this stuff and everything we're hearing, as I said, it honest to God just feels like it's just going to be such a cluster. Like, they're going to put so much fan service into this movie that you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Like, I feel like it's legit going to be like, hey, remember that? Hey, remember this? Hey, remember that? Hey, remember this? And you're just not going to be able to enjoy it. And if anything, it might raise even more questions. Like, why is this here? Why is that here? Why is this happening now? Why is that happening now? Oh, I don't know, folks. I mean, I just want Star Wars to be good again. Like, not this just cluster of... It's not just Star Wars. I gotta make that clear. It's not just Star Wars. There's tons of other stories and media, like video games and other movies and such, that they're all following down this narrative of tell, don't show. And it's like they're trying to recycle old ideas, but with, like, NPC lenses. And it's just, God forbid a character has failure, and God forbid that a character has progression, I guess. Because Thor Skywalker has said this before. If they ever continue the sequel trilogy character story, which I highly doubt, but if they ever did, they're not going to do to them on what they did to with Luke, Han, and Leia. They will make sure that those characters are absolutely successful and they completed in their mission. Which, honestly, I think that's a bunch of bull. Because, you know, they intentionally made our older heroes failure, which some people said that was great. You know, it shows us that even the greatest people can fall. But at the same time, it just makes me think of the EU. Han Solo, champion of the New Republic. Luke Skywalker, Grand Master of the New Jedi Order. Leia, she even went through and became a Jedi for a short while, and Han and Leia was actually happy. Luke even found a wife and had a family, you know? It's just like... And it wasn't happily ever after either. They still went through so much shit. Anyway, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and as I said, Mandalorian looks good. Obi-Wan, don't trust him, and Episode 9, meh. I just don't know. Anyway, folks, I'll talk to y'all later.